Hi all. Today we are going to discuss about stock transfer. From our previous session we have started stock transfer topic. In our previous session we saw how to transfer stock from one storage location to other storage location with one step procedure and two step procedure. Similarly, we also saw how we can transfer stock from one plant to other plant with one step and two step procedure. Today we will see third scenario, stock transport order without SD shipping and without billing. So in the interest of time we'll go into the system. So today we will discuss about STO without SD shipping and without billing. So first of all we will understand what is meant by without SD shipping and without billing. So in this scenario what we will do, we will create STO document. STO means stock transport order. Okay, it's a purchase order we will create, and to transfer stock from one plant to other plant, what we will do, we will transfer stock from IM, not through SD module. IM means inventory management. So here in this scenario we will transfer stock from supply plant to receiving plant through IM, inventory management, okay, without SD module. And without billing means here in this case, after transferring stock from supplying plant to receiving plant, supplying plant will not send invoice or billing document to the receiving plant. So this is the meaning of without billing. Without billing means no invoice from supplying plant. No invoice from supplying plant. And without SD shipping, it means will not create outbound delivery in this scenario. Will not create outbound delivery in this scenario. So without outbound delivery, without billing document, we will perform this STO process. So first of all we need to understand in which scenario or in which case, okay, we don't create billing document. So if supplying plant and receiving plant both are under same company code, then in that case supplying plant don't send billing document to the receiving plant. So in that scenario or in that case we call that STO process as a intra STO. So basically there are two types of STO process we follow, one intra STO and other intercompany STO. Intra STO and intercompany STO. Intra STO means if supplying and receiving plant belongs to same company code. Supplying and receiving plant are under same company code. And in case of intercompany STO, both supplying and receiving are under different company codes. Yeah, so this is the difference between intra STO and intercompany STO. So in this scenario what we will do, we will create one STO. So to create STO we need to first decide what will be our supplying plant and receiving plant. So here we will decide our supplying plant will be ZP0. So this is ZP0 is the plant code, and For receiving, we will consider plant ZP11. So ZP11 will be our receiving plant and ZP01 is our supplying plant. So to create STO, we need material, right? So now I want to identify the material, okay, for which I want to transfer stock from this supplying plant to receiving plant. So to identify material, the common material which is available in both plant, how I can identify? So for this we can use transaction code MM60. So in MM60, if you enter both plant codes, let's say ZP01 and ZP11, and if you click on execute, so you will get material list. Okay, here you will get materials which are available under both plants. So here you can see we have a raw hyphen mat 1, raw hyphen mat 2, raw hyphen mat 3, raw hyphen mat 4, raw hyphen mat 5. So all these materials are available under both ZP01 and ZP11 plant. So now I identified, okay, materials which are present in both the plant. Now I want to identify for which material stock is available. So how I can identify? So for this, again execute transaction code, again execute one more transaction code, MB52. So in MB52 transaction, here I will pass those materials. Okay, and last material was raw hyphen mat 5. Click on execute, and here I will enter plant ZP01. Okay, here ZP11 is not required. Why? Because what is our supplying plant? Our supplying plant is ZP01, right? We are transferring stock from supplying plant, so that's why we need to just enter supplying plant code. If you click on execute button, so here it will show. So under this ZP01 plant, okay, for this material we have a how much stock is available? 65 stock available under storage location 0001 and 80 quantity stock available under 0001, but it has a special stock indicator K. K means consignment stock, right? Same if you check other material raw hyphen mat 2, it has a 900 quantity stock available under 0001. For raw hyphen mat 3, 980. So what I will do, we will consider this material raw hyphen mat 2. So just click on back button. Now what we will do, we will execute MMBE transaction, and in MMBE transaction here I will enter that material code raw hyphen mat 2, and here I am entering both plant codes, supplying and receiving plant code, and clicking on execute button. So here in this MMB I can get clarity under which plant how much stock is currently present. So under ZP01 we have 900 stock, under ZP11 we have a 100 quantity stock. Now our requirement is we want to transfer 100 more quantity from ZP01 to ZP11. So if we transfer 100 quantity from ZP01, so finally here we will have 800 stock under ZP01, and if we receive that 100 quantity at ZP11, then here total stock will become 200 quantity. So here we will consider material raw hyphen mat 2. So this is our test data. Now if I want to create STO, so for that we need to maintain some configuration setting. That configuration setting first we will check, and after that we'll create STO. So first setting is just execute transaction code SPRO, click on SAP reference IMG, go to materials management, purchasing, under purchasing go to purchase order. Under purchase order, the first setting is define document types for purchase orders. Click on execute. So here in this config setting we have a different document types are available. Few document types, okay, which SAP has provided in standard. Let's say this NB, this is a standard document which SAP has provided. Similarly, if you click on position, here you will see one more document type, it's a UB. And if you see the description of this document type is a stock transport order. So this is the standard document type which SAP has provided to perform STO scenario. So if you move the scroll bar towards right side, so here you will see item interval increment, then number range, number range internal, number range external. If you move scroll bar towards right side, here you will see field selection key, and there is a one more column, control indicator. And here what value is maintained? Value T is maintained. If you click on drop down option, it will show the description of this control indicator. So description of this control indicator is transport. If you check the other document type, let's say NB, if you check NB document type, so for NB here control indicator is blank. Now we need to understand what is the purpose of the control indicator T. What is the purpose of control indicator T? So for this, what we'll do, we'll just go to our system. Here what I will do, I will execute transaction code ME21N. To create purchase order, what transaction code we use? ME21N. So here I am entering transaction code ME21N, press enter. So here if you see, if you select document type NB, okay, if you select document type NB, then on the right side here you will see field supplier. Here you will see field supplier. Now what I will do, I will open one more screen. So to open one more screen, what you can do, you can enter /O, then press enter, then click on create. So with this you can create new screen. Now here also I will execute same transaction code ME21N. Now here instead of NB document type, now I will select document type UB. So here I am selecting document type UB. So the moment we select document type UB, here you will see some change happened. What happened? Here supplier field has replaced with supplying plant. Vendor field or supplier field has replaced with supplying plant field. How it happened? Because of this document type selection. So if we go back to configuration setting, so here you can see at document type level we maintained control indicator T. So because of this control indicator T, what happens? Vendor field or supplier field in the purchase order is replaced with supplying plant field. So this is the important concept, okay. And sometimes in interview, okay, interviewer asks this question, okay, what is the purpose of control indicator T, okay, in document type configuration setting. So go back to configuration setting. So select this document type row and double click on this allowed item categories. So here for this document type UB, what item category is allowed? U. And what is the description of this item category? Stock transfer. So remember this UB is a document, UB is a STO document type, and for this STO document type, what item category is allowed? Only stock transfer item category is allowed. So here if you double click on this, if you select this item category row, and if you double click on this link purchase execution document type, so here under this you can maintain purchase execution document type linkage with the purchase order document type linkage. So in the interest of time I'm just skipping this part. Now we'll go to next configuration setting. So next configuration setting we will go to setup stock transport order under purchase order. Okay, same configuration setting, SPRO, SAP reference IMG, materials management, purchasing. Under purchasing go to purchase order, under purchase order setup stock transport order, same configuration path we followed. Go to setup stock transport order, under setup stock transport order go to configure delivery type and availability check procedure by plant. Click on execute. Here click on position. Now I want to search document the configuration setting maintained for UB document type and supplying plant. So in our case, what is our supplying plant? Our supplying plant is ZP0. So here I will enter supplying plant ZP01 to check if any entry is present for this combination or not. So for document type UB and supplying plant ZP01, there is no record, there is no entry present currently. So here what I will do, I will just click on create new entries button, and here I will add entry. So here I am just maintaining document type UB and supplying plant ZP01. Press enter. So here this field is important. Right now here I am keeping this field as a blank and click on save. So this column or this field, delivery type field, decides okay how material we want to transfer through IM or through SD module. Suppose if I maintain a delivery type, let's say here if I maintain delivery type NL is a standard delivery type for intra STO. Suppose if I maintain here a standard delivery type, it means we are going to transfer stock from this supplying plant through SD module, through outbound delivery process. But in our scenario, what we will do, we are going to transfer stock from supplying plant to receiving plant without SD module, right? Without SD shipping, without SD method, or without outbound delivery. That's why here we will keep this delivery type field as a blank. Next, okay, here I have opened one existing STO document, okay, for our reference purpose. So here you can see I have just created one STO document, okay, with supplying plant ZP01 and receiving plant ZP11, and here you can see we have maintained item category U. We have maintained item category U. So if we create any STO with item category U, so here what happens, if you move this scroll bar toward right side, here do you see net price column? No, right? It means if we enter item category U, then what happens, net price column, it automatically gets suppressed. Also if you go to item overview, item details, so this is the item details section, right? Expand this item details section, go to delivery tab. Here you can see here GR indicator, GR non-valid indicator checkboxes are also suppressed. GR good receipt checkbox and GR non-valid checkbox, both are also suppressed. If you go to invoice tab, here you can see invoice receipt checkbox is also suppressed. Why it is, okay, why it happened? Because we created this STO with item category U. So because of this item category U, what happened? Few few checkboxes like good receipt and GR non-weighted, as well as invoice receipt checkbox in invoice tab, okay, that also suppressed. And at item overview level, net price column also has suppressed. Why it is so? So for that purpose, first of all, we need to understand what is the purpose of this item category U, okay, and what is the importance of this item category U. So for this, we will go to configuration setting, SPRO, click on SAP reference IMG, materials management. Under materials management, we will go to purchasing. Under purchasing, we have one configuration setting available for item categories. So this is the configuration setting. Define external representation of item categories. Click on execute button. So select item category row. So item category U, description stock transfer, and backend code is 7. So select this row and click on details button. So here you can see, so under this item category, or at this item category level, there are different control parameters we maintain. So the first control parameter is material required. So in this case, if we are creating STO with item category U, it means in that STO material is a mandatory. We cannot create STO without material. So this is the meaning of this material required parameter. Second is additional account assignment, and here what radio button is selected? Possible. Possible means if you are creating STO with item category U, then in that case account assignment is a possible. Account assignment is a possible. Then third parameter is inventory management. Inventory management is, it is also possible, not mandatory or not allowed. Okay, it means if we create STO, if you perform STO for any material, so in that case, for that material, inventory is not mandatory, like inventory is a possible. The next parameter is good receipt. So here you can see good receipt checkbox is in selected mode. It means if we create STO with this item category, then it will in your PO automatically this GR checkbox will come in selected mode. GR checkbox will come in selected mode. But in our case, what happened here? We are not able to see that good receipt checkbox. Why? Because if you go back to configuration setting, GR indicator firm checkbox, firm in PO. Firm in PO means hide or suppress in PO. This checkbox is selected. It means in your PO, okay, this good receipt for your PO, good receipt checkbox will be in selected mode, but it will be suppressed. Okay, you cannot see that GR indicator checkbox at front end. Okay, at front end you cannot see that GR indicator checkbox. Same GR non-violation, GR violation. This GR non-violation, okay, this is also suppressed. Then invoice receipt. Invoice receipt. Here you can see this invoice receipt indicator or checkbox is not selected. Why it is not selected? Because in case of intra STO, okay, if you are creating STO with item category U, it means it will be intra STO, and in case of intra STO there is no invoice, right? So that's why invoice checkbox is not selected, and firm in PO is also selected. It means, okay, this invoice checkbox, okay, is in suppressed mode, or it will be suppressed, okay, and you cannot see that invoice receipt checkbox in purchase order or in STO. So this is the importance, or this is the purpose of this item category setting. Go back to STO. So if we go back to conditions tab, so here in conditions tab, here you will see one condition type P101. Here we can see condition type P101, and what is the description? Valuation price from supplying plant. If you select this condition type and click on details button, so under details button, here you can see the condition class for this condition type is a prices. It for this the calculation happens on quantity basis, and here condition category is a internal price. Condition category is a internal price. Click on back button, and if you click on analysis button, here you will see the pricing procedure determined in your STO. So what pricing procedure determined in our STO? RM2000. And if you see the description of this pricing procedure is STO stock transfer document, means it's a STO pricing procedure. And under this STO pricing procedure, what are the condition types maintained? P101, FRB1, FRC1 and GRWR. So what we will do, first of all we will see where this condition type is we can configure, and where this RM2000 is maintained. So for this we will go to configuration setting again, SPRO, click on SAP reference IMG, materials management, purchasing. Under purchasing, go to conditions, then define price determination process. Under define price determination process, click on define condition types. Click on execute button. Click on execute button, and here double click on set pricing condition types hyphen purchasing. Now click on position. Now what condition type we want to see? We want to see P101. We want to see P101 condition. Select this condition type row, click on details button. So this is the configuration path for condition type configuration. Or if you want to check the transaction code, what's the transaction code? M/06 for this configuration path. So here you can see the condition class maintained is B, calculation type maintained is C, and condition category maintained is G. G means internal price. So what is the purpose of G? What this G does? Okay, this condition category G means what system will do. Okay, if we create purchase order, let's say if I go back to, let me open that purchase order again. If we create STO, then in case of STO, what happens? This, I'm just minimizing header section. Okay, if we go to header conditions, so here we can see for this condition type P10, what value is maintained? 100 rupees. So how system has determined this value? So if we go back to condition type configuration, so this internal price means what system does? System determines this price from supplying plant material master. So in this STO, what is our supplying plant? Our supplying plant is ZP01. So what system does? If we create STO for any material, then what system does? System determines this condition type amount from supplying plant material master. So if I copy this material and if I open this material display mode, go to MM03, and now here I will select only accounting one view, click on org level. Here I will enter supplying code. My supplying plant code is ZP01. Click on continue. So in accounting one view of supplying plant, here you can see what price control indicator maintained. V means moving average price. And what is the moving average price maintained? 100 rupees. What is the moving average price maintained? 100 rupees. So what system did? Okay, when we created STO, then what system did? System checked what price maintained for this material under supplying plant ZP01. So here system found 100 rupees price. That's why in our STO, this 100 rupees price, okay, has came under this condition type P101. So this is the purpose of this condition category G. G means internal price. Okay, and as per this condition type, what system does? System determines price from supplying plant material master. Supplying plant material master. One more thing here, for this condition type, here you can see access sequence is blank. Access sequence is blank means, okay, we cannot maintain condition record for this condition type. No access sequence means we cannot maintain any condition record for this condition type. We cannot maintain condition record for this condition type. So we saw P101 condition type. Then the next configuration setting we need to check is set calculation schema purchasing. Click on execute button. So in this configuration setting, we can check STO pricing procedure. So what is the STO pricing procedure? RM2 000. So this is the STO pricing procedure triggered in that existing document. Okay, here I am selecting this STO pricing procedure and double click on this control data. So under this control data, here we can maintain condition type. Here we can maintain condition type. If you want to add any new condition type, then you can click on new entry button and here you can add new condition type. So P101 is a standard condition type, value price from supplying plant. Here you can see statistic checkbox is selected. Then FRB1 and FRC1, these are freight charges. Right? These are freight charges, freight condition types. For this also, here you can see statistic indicator is selected. It means for P101, FRB1 and FRC1, this statistic checkbox is selected. It means if we add this condition type, in STO, if we add any condition type in STO, then that condition type amount will not add into the net price. If we add any condition type in STO, then that condition type amount will not add into net price. That condition type amount will not add into the net price. Okay, as there is no any amount is adding into net price, that's why in case of STO, invoice is not possible, because there is no value we are adding into the net price. That's why, okay, net price invoice is not possible in case of intra STO. So going back to configuration setting, so for this calculation schema configuration path, if you want to open the same configuration through transaction code, then you can execute transaction code m/08. Then define schema group, define schema determination, that also important settings. If you click on execute button here, defines define schema group for purchase organization. So here we define here we create schema group for purchase organization. Then in the next, assign schema group to purchase organization. Here we assign schema group to our purchase organization. Let's say our purchase organization is P01. So here schema group purchase organization is blank. Then the next is define schema determination. So double click on determine schema for stock transport order. So this setting decide what pricing procedure has to determine in the STO. So here you can see schema group purchase organization is blank, document type is a UB, and supplying plant is a blank. It means if schema group is blank and if you are creating STO with document type is a UB and any supplying plant in that STO, then for that combination what pricing procedure will determine in RM2000, this pricing procedure will determine in your STO. Let's say if I go back to create purchase order screen, so here what I will do, I will just click on back button. I will again execute MA21N. Now here what I will do, here I will select document type UB. Now here I will enter supplying plant ZP01. Here I am entering further details like purchasing organization, purchasing group. Here I am entering material. Let's say our material is raw-mat2. Here I am entering quantity 100 and here I am entering receiving plant. So receiving plant we considered ZP11 and here I am entering receiving plant storage location. Press enter. So if you go to conditions tab, here you can see now in this case what price has determined, what price has come, 71.73. So now we will check, okay, how this price system has fetched. So for this, okay, copy this material and open this material in MM03 transaction. Execute MM03, enter this material code. Let's delete. Okay, we'll select only accounting one view. Click on org level, enter our supplying plant ZP01. So for this material under supplying plant, we'll see what is the price maintained. So here what price control indicator is maintained, V, and for this V what is the moving average price maintained, 71.73. So this is the price in supplying plant material master. And if you go back to purchase order, see same price, okay, system has determined. What we will do, we will also check what price is maintained in receiving plant. So for this again go to MM03, select accounting one view, click on org level button. Now here we will enter receiving plant ZP11. So under receiving plant, here you can see here also same price is maintained, no issues. What I will do, I will change material in the purchase order. Instead of this raw-mat2, I will take this material raw-mat5. So for this material, now what system has determined 100 USD price, right? Now if we open this material in MM03, selecting only accounting one view, click on org level button here, enter supplying plant ZP01, click on continue button. See price control indicator maintained is V and here moving average price maintained is 100 rupees. Okay, in supplying plant 100 rupees price is maintained, that's why in our STO also 100 USD price has determined. Now what I will do, I will check price in receiving plant. So So here I'm entering receiving plant code ZP11. So under receiving plant ZP11, now we'll check what is the price is maintained. Okay, so here is a standard, and here also 100 rupees price is maintained. So there is no any difference, but the thumb rule is, okay, if you are creating STO, then what system does? System will determine price from the supplying plant material master, not from receiving plant material master. So this is about pricing part. If I go back to purchase order creation scheme, suppose if you want to enter freight charges, suppose if a supplying plant is transferring material through some container, so and for that transportation charges, if you want to do payment to the that container the transportation vendor, so here you need to enter freight conditions. So let's say, okay, if I select FRB1 freight value, or let me, if I select FRC1, so for this FRC1 we will maintain 3 USD per quantity. So per quantity, okay, the transportation vendor is taking 3 rupees, okay, 3 USD per quantity. So total will be $300 freight charges. And if I, so for this freight charges, okay, if you select this freight charges FRC1 condition type, click on details button. Here if you scroll on, here you can maintain transportation vendor. So here I am just entering this existing supplier code. This assume, okay, this is our transportation vendor. So with this, okay, we have maintained freight charges also in our STO. If you click on check button, so see, no message issued during check, means there is no any error. So this is how, okay, pricing, okay, gets determined in the STO. So one observation, okay, sometimes in interviewer asks, okay, can we okay, what is the impact of item category U, okay, in case of STO. So for that time, okay, you need to tell him, okay, if we are creating STO with item category U, then net price column, okay, it will be suppressed. In delivery type GR indicator, it will be suppressed, and in invoice type, invoice receipt indicator will be suppressed. Now I am, and also as we are creating STO without SD module, that's why if you just see at item details, we don't have shipping tab, click on save. So now we have created STO. So I'm just opening this STO document in display mode. So click on other purchase order button. Okay, system will automatically populate the latest document number. Click on other document. So this is the STO just now we have created. So first of all, what we will do, we will check what is the stock status for this material in both supplying and receiving plant. Execute MMB. So here we entered our material, and here we will enter supplying plant code and receiving plant code. So our supplying plant is ZP01 and receiving plant is ZP11. Click on execute. So in a supplying plant we have a total 970, and receiving plant we have a 30 quantity. Now I want to issue material from supplying plant, or I want to transfer material from supplying plant. How I can transfer? To issue material from supplying plant, we need to execute transaction code MIGO. So here we will go to MIGO transaction. In MIGO transaction, here as we want to transfer material from supplying plant. So here we need to select action as a goods issue. Here we need to select action as a goods issue, and in the reference document, here we need to select reference document as a purchase order, and whatever the STO we have created, that STO number we need to enter in purchase order field. So I am just copying this purchase order field. Here we will enter purchase order number. So if we are performing goods issue with reference to purchase order, so here you can see what movement type system has determined. The movement type is 351. Movement type is 351. If you check the description of this movement type, so description of this movement type is transfer posting to stock in transit from unrestricted use. So it means this movement type we use for unrestricted stock, and with this movement type what happens, system transfer stock from supplying plant unrestricted stock to stock in transit. Okay, I'm just closing this pop-up. Now here, okay, here you can see the data has copied from the purchase order or STO. So we create a STO for this material, so this data has populated correctly. If you go to continuity tab, okay, we create a STO with 100 quantity, and we want to transfer 100 quantity only. Then go to where tab. Here also you can see at where tab, movement type is 351, and in the plant field, which plant system will populate? Supplying plant, because we want to transfer material, right? We want to goods issue, we want to do goods issue from supplying plant, right? That's why here system will determine supplying plant information. Now here system has determined supplying plant from STO. Now we need to decide, okay, from which storage location we want to issue material. So here I want to issue material from supplying plant ZP01 and supplying plant storage location 0001. So here I am entering supplying plant storage location 0001. Press enter. Next go to purchase order data tab. Here you can see STO and respective STO line item number. In stock transfer, here you can see material description and what is our receiving plant ZP11, and here solution, here it will show blank. Now as all informations are populated correctly, so here I am selecting item OK checkbox, clicking on check button. So document is okay for post, so click on post button. So on the left bottom corner, here we will get message material document has posted. Material document has posted. If you want to open this document in display mode, select action as a display. In a reference document field, automatically it will populate material document, and it will automatically populate latest document number. So just press enter button. So with this you can open this goods issue document in a display mode. So here in a transfer posting tab, here you can see in from section, from which plant, which solution we have transferred material, and in the right side it will show destination, to which destination, okay, we have transferred material. So here on the destination side, here we can see plant information, but storage location information is a blank. Why? Because okay, though we have transferred material from supplying plant, but it has not received at the receiving plant. It will be in a intermediate, or it will be in a transit position. It will be in a transit phase, or it will be in a transit position. So if you go back to purchase order, and if you open this purchase order again, so here you can see with this goods issue movement, what happened? Purchase order history generated in our STO. So in this STO, here you can see one document has created, one material document has created with the movement type 351, and with this material document how much quantity we transferred? 100 quantity transferred, and in the amount in local currency it is showing amount 10,000, and in above row it is showing some value. And what is the value? 300 US dollar. If you go back to conditions tab, here you can see 300 US dollar value. It is for freight charges, right? It is actually our delivery charges, freight charges, 300 US dollar. Now if we go back to material document, so here you can see how much quantity we transferred. 100 quantity we have transferred. How much 100 quantity we have transferred, right? And in the freight tab, here you can see who is our freight vendor. This is our freight vendor. And what is our freight condition type? Our freight condition type is a FR7. So this information we can see in our material document. Now, as we have transferred material from supplying plant, so if we go back to MMB, and if I click, right now here it is showing 970, but if I refresh the screen, so see what happened. 100 quantity stock got decreased from supplying plant. 100 quantity stock got decreased from supplying plant, but at the receiving end it is showing same 30 quantity. Okay, stock has not increased at receiving plant. It means that 100 stock which we transferred from supplying plant, it is in transit. So if you want to check transit stock, so how you can check? So to check transit stock, there is a transaction code, and the transaction code is MB5T. What is the transaction code? MB5T. So here in this MB5T transaction, enter your material, and if you enter your receiving plant, click on execute. So here it will show that transit stock. How much quantity we transferred? 100 quantity we transferred. Against which STO and which line item we transferred? Against this STO and this line item we transferred this 100 quantity stock. And in this STO, what was the supplying plant? So this is our supplying plant, right? This is our supplying plant. So this information, okay, this transit information we can check in MB5T transaction code. Again, going back to that material document, where is the material document? Yeah, so this is our material document screen, right? Click on doc info tab and click on this FI documents and double click on this accounting document. This is important concept. Sometimes in interviewer asks this question, okay, if we do goods issue with 351 movement, okay, what are the accounting entry generates? So here what we'll do, we will just go to change layout, and here I will add one column, and that column is a plant. Click on continue. So I'm just dragging this column towards left side, so with this, okay, we will get better picture or better clarity. So here you can see out of these 4 lines, first line is for ZP01 like supplying plant, and rest 3 lines are for receiving plant. So here if you see carefully what happened when we do goods issue, so that time what happens, inventory value, okay, inventory value gets decreased at supplying plant. Inventory value gets decreased at supplying plant, and at the receiving end what happens, same inventory value gets increased. Okay, inventory value gets increased at receiving plant. Here you can see 10,000 minus at the supplying end and 10,000 plus at the receiving end. So it means, so with this goods issue, stock value decreased at supplying end, and that value posted into the inventory journal account through this transaction key BSX. Okay, this inventory GL account system determines through this transaction key BSX. Similarly, at the receiving end, stock value gets increased and this stock value system posts into inventory this GL account through this transaction key BSX. Right? It means this inventory GL accounts system determines through this BSX transaction key. And if there is a price difference, okay, if system found any price difference, then that price difference, what system does, system posts into price difference profit or loss GL account, and that GL account system determines through this AUM transaction key. Just remember this point. Okay, if there is a difference, if there is a price difference, then that difference system posts into profit or loss GL account, and that GL account system determines through this AUM transaction key. And if there are any freight charges, then that freight charge value system posts into the GL account, freight GL account, and that freight GL account system determined through this FR1 transaction key. System determines through this FR1 transaction key. So here what happened? Okay, what material we have considered? First of all, let me check what is the material code. We have considered material raw hyphen mat 5. So here I am just here I am just writing we have considered raw hyphen mat 5 as a material, right? Now what I will do, from supplying plant material master and from receiving plant material master, okay, we will just check, okay, what price control indicator and what price is maintained, right? So here I am just writing in supplying plant ZP01, okay, what is the price control indicator and what is the price. Similarly, what we will do, we will also check same details in receiving plant. So here I am just copying this and here I will just mention receiving plant. Now we are going to check all this information. So I am just copying this material code, going to MM03 transaction. In MM03 transaction, here I am selecting accounting one view. Here I will enter plant code. First of all, I will check supplying plant details. So here I am entering supplying plant ZP01. Click on continue. So in supplying plant, what price is what price control is indicator is maintained, V, and what price is maintained, 100 rupees. So here I am just writing in supplying plant, price control indicator is V and price maintained is 100. Similarly, click on or level button and here now mention supplying plant for receiving plant. So receiving plant is ZP11. Click on continue. So here in receiving plant, price control indicator is standard and standard price is maintained 100. Price control indicator is standard and price maintained is 100. So when we do goods issue, so that time, okay, what happens, system creates material document and it also creates accounting document. So while creating accounting document, what system does, system performs some certain calculations, right? System performs some calculation. So at supplying end, okay, at supplying end, what we observed, at supplying end, stock value get decreased, okay, stock value got decreased with this amount. So now to calculate this amount, what formula system applies? stock value at supplying plant. So to calculate stock value at supplying plant, system checks what is the goods issue quantity and what is the supplying plant material master price. So in supplying plant material master price, what in supplying material master, what is the price maintained? 100. So here I am just mentioning supplying plant. Okay, when we do goods issue in case of STO, okay, when we do goods issue in case of STO, so same with the same, let me copy whole line. Okay, and now here I will just change from supplying to receiving. So when we do goods issue in STO scenario, so in this case, to calculate stock value at supplying plant and receiving plant, okay, system uses this formula. System uses this formula: goods issue into supplying plant material master price. But while doing this calculation, what system does? System checks what price control indicator maintain, in the receiving plant. System checks what price control indicator in the receiving plant. If price control indicator is V means moving average price. If price control indicator is V, then system will do calculation as per this formula. Okay, system will do calculation as per this formula. But second case, if price control indicator is S, in receiving plant, so if price control indicator is S in receiving plant, so in that case, okay, in that case, this supplying plant calculation, okay, system does with the same formula. But for receiving plant case, what happens? For receiving plant case, system do calculation with this formula: goods issue quantity with into receiving plant material master price. Instead of supplying plant, what system does? System checks what is the price maintained in the receiving plant material master. What is the price maintained in the receiving plant material master? Why? Because here system found price control indicator as a standard in the receiving plant. So this is the important concept, okay, in this STO goods issue postings, right? So in our case, what happened? In our case, so this is our case, right? Price control indicator is S in the receiving. Here you can see in in our case, okay, receiving plant, price control indicator is a S. So here what happened? At supplying end, okay, how system has calculated value? System checked how much quantity we transferred. So if we go back to material document, or if you open purchase order, . So here you can purchase in STO purchase order history. Here you can see how much quantity we issued or how much quantity we transferred. 100 quantity we transferred, right? So here we can say goods issued quantity is 100 into what is the supplying plant material master price. So supplying plant material master price we already saw, right? We already checked. In supplying plant material master, what is the price maintained? 100. So 100 into 100, 10,000, right? So at supplying end, our stock value will decrease with 10,000 amount. With 10,000 amount, right? So it means okay, the stock GL account. Okay, stock GL account at supplying end. Okay, it will be credited with 10,000 USD. But at the receiving end, what happened? Because of this price control indicator standard, what happened? Here system consider goods issue quantity as 100, but here what system will do? System will check what price maintained in the receiving plant material master. So in receiving plant material master, what is the price? Here also system found 100 rupee, 100 US dollar, right? That's why 100 into 100, 10,000, right? As in both supplying and receiving, okay, in both plant material masters, okay, same price maintained. That's why at both places 10,000 came. But suppose here the price was 90. Let's say at receiving end price is 90. So in that case what will happen? In this case calculation will become like 100 into 90. 100 into 90 means 9,000. So it means at the receiving end, stock value will increase with 9,000 amount. Stock value will increase with 9,000 amount, and whatever the difference in between them, like at supplying end 10,000 and at receiving end 9,000, whatever is the price difference, so that price difference system will post into profit or loss GL account. Okay, system will post into profit or loss GL account whatever the price difference. Here I am just writing price difference. Yeah. So if there is a price difference, so here you can see stock value decreased at supplying end with 10,000 US dollar, and at receiving plant stock value increased with 9,000. So if there is a price difference, so system posts that price difference amount into profit or loss GL account with the transaction key AUM. So what is the difference here? So here the difference is 10,000. What is 10,000 minus 9,000? So the difference is 1,000, right? So that 1,000 difference, okay, will be debited to profit or loss GL account with the transaction key AUM. So here I am just mentioning profit or loss GL account AUM, profit or loss GL account, okay, and it will be determined with the transaction key AUM. And in this case, okay, in our STO we have considered freight charges also, right? So that freight value is 300 USD, right? So that 300 USD amount system will post into freight GL account. And that GL account system will determine through transaction key FR1. That GL account system will determine through transaction key FR1. So here in this freight value, so this 300, it will be debited, sorry, it will be credited. Okay, this freight value will be credited into freight GL account, and it will be debited into this price difference GL account. So total, so this stock value difference plus this 300. So here the total value which will be posted into price difference GL account is this 1000 plus this freight amount. Okay, so total how much it will be posted into profit or loss GL account? Total will be 1300. So this much amount will be posted into profit or loss GL account. So this is about accounting. This is about accounting part. Now the next, let's assume material has received physically at the receiving end. Let's assume material has received at the physically at the receiving end, and we want to do good receipt. So as a warehouse people, okay, warehouse person, I want to do good receipt. So how I can do good receipt? Again, go to Migo transaction. Here select action as a good receipt. In a reference document, select reference document as a purchase order, and here enter same STO document. 454 press enter. As we are doing GR with reference to PO like STO, the moment I will be 101. So before performing good receipt, here yeah. So this is our MB5D transaction. I am just executing again. So in this MB5D transaction, here you can see it is showing 100 quantity stock in transit, right? Now we will do good receipt. So here you can see. So whatever the information STO, that information has populated in this good receipt transaction. Material number, raw hyphen mat5 quantity. Okay, here you can see ordered quantity is 100, issued quantity 100. Let's say they have from supplying end they transport 100 quantity, and we have received 100 quantity. So here we will enter 100 quantity. But sometimes what happens? Okay, some items okay gets damage or some okay got lost okay in between transit period. So whatever the quantity we actually received, that quantity we need to enter here. So let's assume we receive full quantity. So here I am entering 100 quantity in where tab. Observe moment tab 101 receiving plant and receiving solution. This data we entered in our STO, right? Here you can see STO number, partner, supplying plant information. In account assignment it will be blank because we have not entered in account assignment in STO. So selecting item okay checkbox, click on check button. So document is okay for post, so click on post button. So material document has posted. If you want to open this document in display mode, select action as a display. It will automatically pop up reference document as a material document and document number as a latest document number. Press enter button. So sometimes in interview will ask okay, while doing good receipt okay in STO just tell me what are the accounting entry generate. Okay, so this type of confusing puzzle questions okay sometimes interview asks during interview. So for this okay just go to doc info tab and click on FI document. So see what message we get. No subsequent document found in accounting. It means in case of intra STO, what happens? Accounting document generates during goods issue only. Okay, during good receipt, no accounting document generates. System only creates material document. Okay, it does not create accounting document during good receipt. Right. So this is the important concept you need to remember. And if you go to transit stock in transit screen, and if you again open this transit So MB5T. So here you can see, so that 100 quantity stock has decreased from transit. Okay, here it is not showing anything, it means okay that transit stock has decreased. Now if you go back to MMB, so what happened, after doing good receipt, transit stock has decreased. And now if we click on refresh button, see what happened. Earlier at receiving plant it was showing 30, but after good receipt now it is showing 130. It means at receiving plant stock has increased by 100 quantity. It means what happened, during good receipt stock from transit decrease and it gets increased at the receiving end. Okay, transit stock decreases and receiving plant stock increases. So this is the effect we get during good receipt in STO. Now if we go to the purchase order and if you open the purchase order again, so this purchase order history will also updated, right? So here you can see this 8000235, this is a goods issue document. It has a movement type 351, and this 5 series document, okay, this is a good receipt document. It has a movement type 101, and here you can see amount is 0 because here in at this moment, okay, in 101, okay, there is no any accounting entry generated. Now in this case, okay, as okay, we want to do payment to the freight vendor. Okay, so in this case we can create invoice for this freight charges only. We can create invoice for this freight charges only, and this freight amount, okay, this freight amount has not added into the net price. Why? Because if you just move, if you go to condition tab and move this scroll bar towards right side, you will see statistic column. Here the statistic checkbox is set. It means whatever the amount under this condition type, that amount has not added into the net price. That amount has not added into the net price, right? So for this, what we need to do, for this freight amount we need to create invoice. So we'll go to other screen, and to create invoice we will execute transaction code Myro. So enter transaction code Myro, hit enter. First of all I will check what is the company code. Yeah, so company code is ZC01. So here let's say okay, we received invoice today only, so here I'm selecting today's date. In a reference document, here I'm entering some reference number, and in a, if you scroll down in a PO reference section, here enter STO number. So our STO is 454 times 0592. I'm just copying this. I forgot to press enter. Now I'm entering this number. So see, the moment I entered, I press enter. After entering this purchase order number, system has automatically populated this freight amount, okay, for this 100 quantity, and if you move the scroll bar towards right side, on the right side you will see condition type. Okay, here you can see the condition type FRC1 and that freight vendor 640028. That freight vendor information you can see at head on the and header section also. Now if all the information is correct, then select item. Okay, select okay. I think I have to change text code, so I am changing text code. Here I am just entering manually this baseline date. Actually system automatically calculate that. Here also I am just selecting text. Now if I okay, how much quantity, how much amount we need to create invoice. Okay, we need to create invoice with 300 amount. So here I entered amount 300. Now here green bulb, okay, it means okay, this document is okay to post, right? If you click on simulate button, it will show. Okay, this is how, okay, system will post, system will generate accounting entries. So this 300 minus means this is a vendor account. Okay, our vendor account will be credited with 300 USD, and this freight GL account, it will be debited with, debited with this 300 USD. Right, click on post button. So document has posted. Okay, this is the invoice document 51056000907. Click on view details button. I'm just copying this. Now if you want to open this invoice document, how you can open? Just execute transaction code MIR4. MIR4 is the display invoice document transaction code. I copied document incorrectly. Let me go back to purchase order history. So I'm going back to STO. So this is our STO. Open this STO document again. Go to purchase order history. So in purchase order history, you will see that invoice document, right? So from here you can get that invoice document number. So this is our invoice document number. So you can open invoice document from purchase order history, or